Hello, everyone. We are live, I believe. I hope you're all doing well. Welcome to this week's episode of Jack Jewell Live, where I'll be covering lots of crazy stories that have happened this week. So tonight, we have so much to get through, so we better get started. We're going to talk about some bizarre video from the US, from a courtroom, of a woman failing to say that men cannot get pregnant. I know, right? You've seen it before. But it never gets old, never stops being funny. We're also going to look at an ex-user, a conservative Dutch user who's been banned from entering the UK simply because she tweeted something mean about our Prime Minister Keir Starmer when we can't seem to deport actual terrorists, terrorist sympathizers, and extremists. There you go. And we're also going to play some of the UK's anti-extremism new game that they're rolling out to schools. And in a bonus, actually, wait, I have some more for you. If we get time, we're going to look at the leader of the Green Party, Zack Polanski, and some of the crazy, queer, communist-loving things he says. And in a bonus Substack after show, I'll be showing you two crazy TikToks. One is of a feminist who is attempting to get a guy fired from his job simply because he commented on a reel of something she didn't like. And also a trans craziness that you're going to want to see. So if you want to join my Substack and continue the show, you can look in the live chat or you can check it out in the description. All right, so let's get started with our first story. Now, I saw this going viral on X today. It's a video from some sort of courtroom in the US. Not sure exactly what the context of this is, but it doesn't really matter because the video speaks for itself. And I have not watched this yet at all, so I'm looking forward to reacting to it for the first time with you. And if you're in the chat, just let me know and make sure you tell me if you can hear the video. All right, let's go.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Since you bring it up, why don't we just start there? Dr. Verma, I wasn't sure I understood your answer to Senator Moody a moment ago. Do you think that men can get pregnant?
I hesitated there because I wasn't sure where the conversation was going or what the goal was. I mean, I do take care of patients with different identities. I take care of many women. I take care of people with different identities. And so that's where I paused. I think, yeah, I wasn't sure where you were going with that.
Well, the goal is just the truth. So can men get pregnant?
Again, the reason I paused there is I'm not really sure what the goal of the question is.
The goal is just to...
They always do that, right? It's like, can women have a penis? And we're going to get back to that later. It's, well, why are you asking the question? What's the objective of this question? Is it to ridicule and shame trans people? And it's actually, no, we just want to check your credibility as what's supposed to be a doctor who's supposed to know the difference between men and women. You see, they know the answer and we know the answer, but they just want to paint you out to being some extremist. And obviously it's ridiculous and both of us know what's true, but the truth matters and our ability to state fact and state the truth matters, right? Which is why people keep pinning people to walls, asking them this question. All right, Dr. Verma, let's go.
Establish a biological reality. You just said a moment ago that science and evidence should control, not politics.
Absolutely.
So let's just test that proposition. Can men get pregnant?
I take care of people with many identities, but
can men get pregnant?
Many women that can get pregnant. I do take care of people that don't identify as women. That
can men get pregnant?
I take care of many identities. Like, that's not what we asked, Verma. I don't care what you identify as. It's about whether you can get pregnant or not.
Again, as I'm saying,
let me just remind you what you testified to a moment ago. Science and evidence should control, not politics. So can men get pregnant? You're a doctor, I think.
Science and evidence should guide medicine.
Do science and evidence tell us that men can get pregnant? Biological men, can they get pregnant?
I also think yes, no questions like this are a political tool. And
no, yes, no questions.
Yeah, it's always your intentions behind the question. What about your intentions behind the fact you cannot answer it, Dr. Verma? It's just so mindless. I mean, it's hilarious, right? But we are just continuing to waste so much time. It's just the epitome of privileged luxury lifestyle that us in the West are spending days, weeks, months, years arguing about something that all of us actually knew. It was one of the few things any of us knew when man first walked on this earth, that there were men and there were women, right? Because they knew how to procreate. It's just instinct. Goes against all instinct that we know. And it's a massive waste of time.
Are about the truth, doctor. Let's not make a mockery of this proceeding. This is about science and evidence. And I'm asking you, the United States Supreme Court just heard arguments yesterday at great length on this question. This is not a hypothetical question. This is not theoretical. It affects real people in their real lives. And you're here as an expert, called by the other side as an expert. And you've been telling us that you follow, right, you're a doctor, and you follow the science and the evidence. So I just want to know, based on the science, can men get pregnant?
I mean, that's what the trans activists say, right? Is I follow the science. Well, your science is bullshit. But it's what he's saying is completely true, because it affects patients. If you're a doctor and you cannot confidently say that only females can get pregnant, then what else do you not have a fucking clue about? That's what I ask. Gosh.
That's a yes or no question. It really is, I think.
I think you're trying to reduce the complexity of a lot.
I'm not. I'm trying to get, it's not complex. I'm trying to get to an answer, and I'm trying to test, frankly, your veracity as a medical professional and as a scientist. Can men get pregnant?
I think you're also conflating
This is
male
extraordinary.
female with
No, I'm not conflating male and female. They're two different things. There's biological men and there's biological women. And I want to know, can men get pregnant?
I, for one, want us to stop using this term biological man and biological woman, because it makes no sense. Men are biological human beings and women are biological human beings. Otherwise, they wouldn't be men or women. Man is just a term to describe the human form of male, an adult male. And woman is the word to describe a human female. Just like we use the word, cow to describe female cattle and bull to describe male cattle. We don't have to say a biological cow. Although, trust me, I wouldn't put it past them.
What you were talking about is biological.
You're not going to answer my question.
Biological males.
This isn't hard, doctor. Can men get pregnant? Yes or no?
I would be more than happy to have a conversation with you that is not coming from a place of trying to
have the conversation now, Dr. Verma. The stage is yours.
To be polarized and push.
I'm not trying to be polarizing. I'm trying to ask, I think it is extraordinary that we are here in a hearing about science and about women. And for the record, it's women who get pregnant, not men. We are here about the safety of women.
Oh, he said it, didn't he? He dropped a truth bomb there. Can't believe it.
Women and science that shows that this abortion drug causes adverse health events in 11% of cases. That's 22 times greater than the FDA label, another fact you haven't acknowledged. And yet you won't even acknowledge the basic reality that biological men don't get pregnant. There's a difference between biological men and biological women.
You can see whoever's in the background. These people, they're just like, why am I here listening to this?
I don't know how we can take you seriously and your claims to be a person of science if you won't level with this on this basic issue. I thought we were past all of this, frankly. I can't believe we're still here talking about this.
I am a person of science, and I'm also someone here who's here to represent the complex experiences of my patients. And
Jesus Christ. Why do they always have, I don't want to get too personal, right? But why do they always have these voices where they're like, I'm just here to protect marginalized, vulnerable Black voices. And I want to respect the identities of my patients and the complex needs of my patients. Well, you might have patients that believe in Scientology or that the earth is flat, but that doesn't mean that you have to start changing the way you speak around them or basically not telling the truth just because you don't want to upset them. But, America is a capitalist healthcare system. So I guess in her position, she doesn't want to get struck off or, patients not want to go with her because she's not progressive or whatever. But I do think that it's still quite a fringe position to not be able to answer these questions truthfully. I mean, she could just say women can get pregnant, trans women can't, or whatever, which also is quite weak, but this is just unbearable.
Don't think polarized language or questions serve that goal. I don't think they serve the American people.
It is not polarizing to say that there is a scientific difference between men and women. And I want this to be clear and for the record. It is not polarizing to say that women are a biological reality and should be treated and protected as such. That is.
If it's polarizing to say, then you're the problem and you are causing the polarization. That is the truth. Think about the history of humankind, dissenters, who was it that said the world wasn't flat? Was it like Galileo or something? I'm really bad at history, so let me know. But whoever that was like imprisoned and shunned and exiled. This is just one of those things we're seeing. And, I won't be alive in 100 years unless, we have some amazing advancements in technology. But I would love to see how all of this is told in the history books, because it may just be the beginning of what is the downfall of the West unless we get our shit together.
Is not polarizing, that is truth. It is also, by the way, the United States Constitution, which offers unique protections to women in a variety of circumstances as women. And your refusal to recognize women as women and men as men is deeply corrosive to science, to public trust, and yes, to constitutional protections for women as women. And I think it's extraordinary that you would sit here and advance a political agenda that has been thoroughly discredited and rejected by the American people in this forum. And I'm glad we had this exchange because it is exceptionally clarifying. It is also in many ways quite depressing. I see that my time is nearly expired. I just want to thank the other witnesses for being here. Thank you for protecting women and children. Thank you for your valiant efforts. Thank you for following the science. And thank you, Mr. Chairman, for this hearing.
Senator, also.
Jesus Christ, that was a lot. Follow the science, guys. Look at her little smug face. She is not happy. She is cringe, crisp, and she's cute. So, yeah, I mean, I almost feel sorry for her because she knows she's gonna look like a complete idiot. There you go, guys. Okay, let's move on to the next topic. Let me know what you think. I'm just having a quick look at the comments, and there was one. Here we go. So I just try to use male, female now, which is interesting. We have to strip the humanity and use basically our basic animal language. Yeah, I agree. I mean, I answered a forum recently, and it was saying, can you describe your gender? So I just wrote in the box, my sex is male, because I just wanted to send a signal that I'm not playing their game. Okay. Oh, sorry. Hide. Okay, there we go. Coming up next, we have this ex-user who has been banned from the UK because she said some mean things about Keir Starmer. All right, so hopefully you can actually see this. Let me just zoom in. There we go. Okay, so this is Eva Vlaardingerbroek. I obviously can't pronounce that correctly, but she is some Dutch conservative commentator. I do see her pop up from time to time. I mean, she has 1.2 million followers, so she must be huge. And I'm not really familiar with all of her views, of course, or really any of them, but I gather that she is, quite a typical tough on immigration kind of person, right? And a conservative in that way, which now is basically far right usually. So it says that they're shield maiden of the far right, commentator, lawyer. Oh yeah, remigration. So that is a term that we're seeing more and more, but it is still considered to be on more of the fringe side of the right wing, the concept of remigration, which has lots of different meanings. People define it differently. Some people think it's like forced deportations of legal migrants. Some people think it's policies to encourage them to leave. It's a bit of a mess. So she says, holy shit, I've been banned from traveling the UK. They revoked my ETA. I assume that's some sort of visitor visa. It says, your presence in the UK is not considered to be conducive to the public good. 3 days after posting this about Starmer. So first of all, this is a message. So it says her ETA has been cancelled. You cannot travel to the UK without a visa. This is because your presence in the UK is not considered to be conducive to the public good. You cannot appeal this decision. So it's just no appeal possible. No appeal at all. Great. By the way, if you're watching on X, I can't see the comments, which is really annoying. So come on YouTube if you want to. I noticed last week there was a few hundred people watching, and you cannot replay the live comments, so I have no idea what they're saying. Okay, so here's the tweet that she. Oh, do we have it? Here it is. Here's the tweet that she tweeted, which she thinks was the culprit. So she said, Keir Starmer wants to crack down on X under the pretense of quote unquote women's safety, while he's the one allowing the ongoing rape and killing of British girls by migrant rape gangs. Evil, despicable man. So this is very kind of Elon Musk coded, I feel. Elon Musk, you know, for all of his virtues for X being a free speech platform, like he is extremely unhinged in what he tweets out, and he has a lot of hyperbole, and it's quite black and white thinking all the time. Now, I'm no fan of Keir Starmer. I hate him. Most of the public hates him. He is a robot. He has no beliefs. He is embarrassing. He has no charisma, and he's dangerous, in my opinion. And this kind of is partly true. So he's leader of the government. He could be a lot tougher on illegal migration and the rape gangs to show that he cares about this and that he thinks that the illegal boats are a danger to women, which in my opinion, there's irrefutable evidence that that is the case. How many rapes does it take to say no more? So in that way, he's allowing it. I don't think that that's his like ambition. I just think that he's so wedded to our international law. That is his guiding compass. That's what he lives by. If he believes anything, it's in the international world order. And because this is part of that, he does not see himself responsible. So it is quite a visceral tweet, but there you go. Free speech is free speech, right? Now, it seems to me like this is not worthy of banning someone from a country. This is what dictators do. If you insult someone's prime minister, then they could stop you entering the country and say you are not for the public good. They also did this to the author and the creator of the concept of the Great Replacement theory, that French guy. You know, he has the theory that there are powers at play to replace the European demographics through mass migration. So he was due to come to the UK, and they also banned his entrance. So the important thing to remember here is whether you agree with these two being banned or not, the Home Office and the government have the power to ban people from entering the country. That is irrefutable evidence. And not only do they have that, they can do it on quite spurious evidence. And they can basically do it if they just don't like what someone has to say. So why on earth are we getting extremists coming to the UK and being welcomed with open arms? And you probably saw this case going viral over Christmas. But this is Alaa Abd El Fattah. Sounds like a British name. He will not be stripped of British citizenship over past tweets. Government sources say social media posts by British Egyptian activists do not meet legal bar for such sanctions. So here he is looking very happy. And for context, if you don't know who this guy is, he's an Egyptian national who was put into custody in jail because of his activism and his political beliefs. So he was seen as a political prisoner by this country. And because he has a British mother, even though he's never lived in the UK, I believe, just because he has a British-born mother, so she's an Egyptian British-born person, we granted him citizenship in 2021 while he was in jail. And both the last Conservative government and now Keir Starmer's government have made it one of their top priorities to release him. And it sounds lovely, right? He just must be some poor political prisoner who was detained, and this was the right thing to do. So you can see this tweet. Look at that, 19.5 million views. That's crazy. I'm delighted that Alaa Abd El Fattah is back in the UK. I mean, back in the UK is rich, right? Like, he's an Egyptian. and has been reunited with his loved ones who must be feeling profound relief. So he was having a hard-on for Abd el Fattah. But then, of course, the receipts started coming through. And there's just a few highlights here of some of the things he tweeted. So people found all these tweets that resurfaced from around 10 plus years ago. So this one says, "I'm telling you, I hate white people." This one says, if you talk to most of them, they could come out telling you that they're the ones who's oppressed and victims. "I seriously, seriously hate white people, especially those of English or Dutch or German descent." Great. So that's the country that granted you citizenship, right? F that, sounds like you need more fear. Random shooting of white males should convince them racism costs lives. "I effing hate white people. They don't understand. Sharing or community, a blight on the earth. Good thing they stopped breeding." Yeah, so that's kind of a trope that people are afraid of, that people moving here have some conspiracy to outbreed us and replace us. And, whether you believe that or not, this doesn't really refute that argument very well, does it? And these are just a few things he said. He also talked about killing and murdering Zionists, killing and murdering colonialists. He had some dodgy stuff tweeted about homosexuals. He talked about himself being a terrorist. So it's super crazy. Like, I cannot believe that our whole government and Home Office was not able to do some simple checks on his Twitter, publicly available information. This isn't even some dark corner of the dark web that has somehow resurfaced now. It was just publicly available information, and perhaps people did see it and they just didn't care. And a lot of the usual suspects, Owen Jones, the kind of far lefties, were just totally all over him, having an orgasm over Alaa Abd el Fattah, even loads of celebrities. And a lot of them defended the decision in spite of the tweet, saying, "Oh, well, it was a long time ago," just because he's a Palestinian supporter. And the celebrities are silent. So the reason I bring this up, "I'm proud of being racist." That was another one he said. And this one was quite telling. So this is his sister, who he was apparently being reunited with in the UK. And I know this is a bit small. So it says something out of a sci-fi movie. And here are photos of October 7th and Hamas paragliding into Israel. I guess it takes a special kind of imagination to find new ways of resisting an extremely advanced occupation army whose war crimes are constantly justified and endorsed by some of the most powerful governments. And look, I say this every time, like, you can have whatever opinion you want about Palestine, that, they are oppressed and that they deserve a two-state or whatever. But it's undeniable that these guys here were terrorists going in to just murder random Jews at a festival and more widely burn families alive. And she talks about war crimes. I mean, the problem with all these is, like, I can understand the Palestinian sympathy. I really, really can. But I just hate hypocrisy. I hate how this is like freedom and resistance. But these are the kind of people we welcome in. And then when they found out, Keir Starmer was just saying, "Oh, the tweets are abhorrent, the rise of anti-Semitism and the recent horrific attacks, I know, blah, blah, blah." Even though I think the anti-Jew stuff was really bad, right? And I'm totally here for that, and I support Jewish people. But nobody had the balls to talk about the anti-white rhetoric and anti-British rhetoric. That matters too. It was just only about the Jews, because the only way that Keir Starmer could respond to this was by focusing on another minority. And they deserve the focus 100%. But he should also protect the people of the country. When a guy has explicitly said, "I hate English people, they are dogs, they should be killed, they're a blight on the earth, thank God they've stopped breeding," like, that's worthy of mention as well, and the homosexual comment. But it's just another failure and embarrassment. And considering the case of Eva, let's see what she had to say.
So I just got an email I didn't expect. I have officially been banned from traveling to the United Kingdom. I'm not allowed to enter the country because the UK government under Keir Starmer deems my presence in the UK, and I quote, "not conducive to the public good." I don't know what that means. Since when is being conducive to the public good a requirement to enter a country? I mean, especially the United Kingdom, where, if I'm not mistaken, thousands of illegal immigrants enter through the channel every day. Every day. Nobody's asking them to be conducive to the public good, but I cannot come. And now this email came out of the blue, in the sense that I didn't apply for an ETA now. I went back in September to join the Tommy Robinson rally where I spoke, and I was planning, I should say, to do that again in May. Guess not. And now the timing is quite suspicious, isn't it? Because 3 days ago, I posted this about Keir Starmer, calling out his hypocrisy that he wants to ban X because of women's safety, whilst at the same time he's the one who's allowing these migrant gang rapes to happen. Obviously, he's just doing that because he wants to ban free speech. And that is also the reason why I am now not anymore allowed to go to the UK. But it's pretty dystopian. I mean, it's a very severe limitation of my freedom. And as it says in the email, I cannot appeal. I'm not convicted of any crime. I'm not under suspicion of any crime. They just decided, Keir Starmer just decided that someone like...
It's crazy, isn't it? She is very pretty, I have to say. Good genes. It's like a Sydney Sweeney thing all over again. So, I mean, who knows? For all I know, maybe she is an extremist. But my point is the hypocrisy, as it's just so blatantly clear that they're biased towards what they consider far right, and anti-immigration rhetoric is a threat to the UK. It's a threat to their liberal outlook on humanity. And X is the same, which is why you're getting the government talking about banning it. And that is just like, what the hell are we talking about, guys? I mean, can you imagine the blowback if that happens? Like, this will be the end. I swear to God. I mean, Trump and Elon Musk probably won't be having that. Put sanctions on our country, I'm sure. So let me know what you guys think of that crazy story. Had a few comments. Let's have a look. Someone said they were glad to be here because they caught the live. But anyway, oh yeah, here we go. I am very glad to have you too, Twiggle the cat. Let me know if you guys have any questions. And we are moving on to the next one, right? Here we go. Okay, so this is a new video game, speaking of the UK government, which educates children in schools on extremism and helping them spot extremism, prevent radicalization, and basically be a good little serving member of the government. Now, I actually think that this isn't necessarily a bad idea in itself, because you could have education that genuinely talks about real terrorism and real extremism. And yes, there is a far right extremism. That is a thing. There is Nazism, a very small minority of people. So you could absolutely touch on that. But what I'm going to guess is, when I play the game with you, is that that gets stretched quite a bit. And I do wonder if they talk about Islamism or Islam at all in this video, in this game. So this article said the Prevent video game that treats every teenager like a far-right extremist. Youngsters threatened with referral to anti-terror program if they question migration. No surprise. I mean, you can just see already, it's like you have the hijab and then the old man, and like taking the diversity labels already. Okay, so I have not seen this. I've not played it. I'm hoping that I'm going to be able to do this on screen. So let's give it a go. Okay, welcome to Pathways, an interactive game where you determine your journey. In this game, you will have to choose between certain options that can lead to different outcomes. Let's go. I think there's sound.
In this game, you
Oh,
will
here we
be
go.
presented with scenarios that require you to take action, like hearing something hateful while gaming or watching a provocative video on social media.
Straight away, like, I mean, I actually quite like that accent, but I feel like they've chosen like a kind of working class accent. I'm not saying I can do that, but a northern accent to try and be accessible, I feel. So
From the 3 alternative options presented, you will use your mouse to select one based on the information given and what outcome you think this will have.
okay.
The choices you make will determine the route your character takes. Remember to be aware of getting trapped in risky or harmful situations, as the different choices can lead to situations involving extremism and radicalisation, damaging the outcome for your character.
Guys, I think we're about to be radicalized. So this is the new Nick Fuentes live stream. Let's have some fun with this game and choose some of the more interesting options. All right, choose which character. Shall I be trans in this game and live my true self? Let's go with the guy. And of course, they're both white, can I just say? Can you imagine if they chose 2 black people? You know, suddenly representation is no longer wanted. Okay. Don't know if we'll get through all of this, but let's go.
Charlie was enjoying an online game with friends.
Go on, Charlie. Hull.
Charlie had not long started attending a new college in East Riding, and they were so relieved to have made new friends having recently left school.
What? They, them? Is he a they, them? What was the point in getting us to choose a male or female at the start if it's just going to be a they, them? Fuck's sake.
Charlie has started browsing new games and websites that some of the new friends use.
It's like, oh, Charlie started doing this, but now he's going to see something extreme.
Sometimes, though, the people on these websites say things that seem off, even slightly concerning.
Oh, not emojis. The clown emoji.
Someone on this website has encouraged Charlie to download a video, but Charlie is unsure.
Download a video. See what Charlie does. Would you download the video? I feel like I'd find it hard to resist unless I knew that it was...
How should Charlie react?
How should he react, guys? Okay, tell a trusted adult. Well, obviously not that. Okay, we're back. Sorry, my mic. Okay, tell a trusted adult, talk to a stranger online, or download the video. I'm gonna go with talk to a stranger. That's always what you should do, guys.
Charlie questioned the stranger, asking what the video was about.
Okay.
Charlie felt uneasy when the stranger explained that if Charlie cared about the country, they would download the video and share it with as many people as possible.
I mean, is this Charlie person like mentally disabled?
Charlie wasn't sure what to say and didn't contribute anything more to the discussion. Instead, feeling that perhaps they had missed something on the topic.
Oh my God, get to the point. What is it? What's the video?
Luckily, Charlie trusted their instinct and didn't download or share the video.
I wouldn't trust them's instinct in this case.
It's important to remember that downloading or streaming certain content can lead to a terrorist offence conviction.
I mean, that's a stretch, right? If someone was just like, download this, and then, oh, it must be terrorism. That was it. That was milquetoast. Okay. That was like
Charlie
the most
is
stupid
receiving
video.
an important grade on a piece of work they submitted for their hospitality course at college.
Hospitality course.
Charlie put in a lot of effort for this work and is excited to receive good feedback.
Good personal responsibility. I like it. Not being a victim.
Charlie takes a seat in class and waits to get their grade.
Oh, it's all very exciting.
To their disappointment, Charlie doesn't do as well as they expect. They got 60 out of 100 for their work, but they wanted at least 75 out of 100.
Poor job, Charlie. You put in 110% and you got 60%. That wouldn't fly in my books. You'd be kicked out. Sad times.
To make matters worse, somebody else got 80 out of 100, and the teacher said that this person has received a job offer.
Oh, it's now we get the person of color. And what do you know? They're doing the best. And instead of the poor incel-y white guy, right? Nothing wrong with that. There's obviously people of color who are extremely intelligent, but come on, guys. Is that all you've got for this video? Seriously.
Charlie has applied to dozens of jobs, but hasn't had any luck yet.
He's like, I'm getting racist. Don't make me get racist. Oh, God.
Somebody else in the class tells Charlie that this is proof that immigrants are coming to the UK and taking our jobs.
Oh my God, I love it. Look at Cynthia there with the choker. She's probably a trans woman. You know, they wear the chokers to conceal their Adam's apple. I mean, that's adding a bit of diversity to the far right. She's still white, though. Come on, students. Okay. How should Charlie react? Ignore the comment and ask the course leader for feedback. Ignore the comment, but don't address your frustration, or agree with the comment and explore. Obviously, option C, guys. Obviously, he should be racist. I mean, I wish these questions were, you know, a bit trickier. And I just want to caveat, of course, I'm joking. I wouldn't be option C in real life, but we're going to see what happens.
Charlie approached the classmate angrily. He agreed with the ideas and began shouting about them in class.
Oh my God. What's his status rights?
Charlie
Like
approached the classmate angrily. He agreed with the ideas and began shouting about them in class.
Gosh. These people are very simple-minded, aren't they? Can you imagine if you had someone that mentally stunted that they're like, oh, I didn't get the score I wanted. And then some choker girl, trans woman next to you is like, this is proof that immigrants had taken our jobs just because a non-white person got 80%. And then he stomps over to her all angry. Oh, well, the kids in the back are pissed. Okay, so I don't think we did very well.
Know that the school has a zero tolerance on hate speech.
She needs a bit of a Botox there, I think, the teacher.
The teacher was concerned by Charlie's outburst and tried to get to the bottom of it.
Mm-hmm. He's far
Charlie
right.
Charlie became more agitated and ended up having to sit alone for the duration of the week's lessons because of the hurtful things they said.
This is just so wild. I mean, fair enough if he started plotting some sort of lynching or harassing people because they're not white, but they're basically just saying if you hold the belief that that migrants are suppressing wages and they are diluting the workforce, then you're an extremist. And I think there's a lot of nuance to that opinion. I think in some cases, absolutely yes, because companies want cheaper labor, and it's actually a very capitalist big business situation, which is why all of this exists, right? They pretend to be on the left and for the people, but this is just all corporate greed, and this is why they have to make you out to be an extremist if you have a problem with it. Can't believe it. Okay, so Charlie is getting more and more racist, everyone. So let's join him on his next journey to the far right. No mention of Islamism
Charlie
yet.
has been chilling out all afternoon.
I wonder what he's been doing. It's that phase, isn't it, for a teenage boy?
They've been scrolling on social media.
Why is he they, them? I don't understand why they have to do that. It's like, oh, we don't want to offend anyone. Can't. Come on, Charlie. It makes me think of, have you seen Willy Wonka, where she's like, cheer up, Charlie. There's a brighter day. Just think of that. Poor little Charlie. It reminds me of the guy from Adolescence, the crazy white
They've been
guy.
scrolling on social
Oh.
media.
Come on. Well, I'm going to be really sad if this stops working. What did they them do next? Oh dear. Can I refresh the page? I don't know. Why isn't this working? Wrong thing. Sorry. Okay. I need technical support. Please work. Are we gonna? Oh, is it gonna start me from the start? No. I want
From
it
the
to happen to Charlie. Okay, let's try again.
They've been scrolling on social media.
Oh my god, take me to the far right, you stupid game.
They've been
This is-
scrolling on social media.
This is really sad. This is shocking. 0 out of 10 for the architecture of this technology anyway. Well, I guess Charlie is doomed to just scroll on social media forever. It's annoying because you had to unlock each module one at a time. Does anyone have any tips on how I can progress this? Because otherwise we're going to have to go on. That's upset me. I wanted to get radicalized. Maybe the game knew that it wasn't working for me. It kicked me out. Anyway, maybe we can do a part 2 for that. Shame. So what do we have next? So we're going to look at... don't believe that it's actually here. Let's go to... Right. Thought I had this tab open. Okay. Okay, guys, it's time to look at the Green Party. So this is Zack Polanski, right? Leader of the Greens. He's a gay guy. He's pro-trans. He's pro-socialism. He's all the boxes. And he says some pretty outrageous stuff. So I thought this would be kind of fun. Let's have a look at what Zack has to say.
Zack Polanski has transformed the Green Party. Since being elected leader, his double Green Party membership.
I want to say a special welcome to every single person who has just joined the party.
He has an unfortunate, like, crossroads in his teeth. It's like a gap there, and the people joke about it looking like the English flag. But everyone was laughing at this because just look at his run again.
Zack Polanski has transformed the Green Party. Since being elected leader, his...
I am ashamed, Zack Polanski, as a gay guy, that you have this outrageous run. I feel like the gays can do so much better than this run. Look at it. You'd injure yourself. Shameful. It's embarrassing. All right.
I want to say a special welcome to every single person who has just joined the party. Welcome!
overtaken the Conservatives
We're a party with the momentum right now. We're surging.
and warned the Greens are catching up with Labour.
The Labour Party is dead and gone. People need to let go of it.
He's been called the British Mamdani after New York socialist mayor.
Yeah, I mean, that's ridiculous, right? Because granted, I can admit Mamdani is charismatic. I think he's good looking, although he's totally not my thing whatsoever. But he's extremely dangerous because he's a full-blown socialist, if not a communist, and has links to extremists, extreme Muslim preachers. So Zack is like all of that, minus the good looks, the charisma, the ability to run. Like, this is the kind of standard of politician the UK has now. And there is up to 20%. It's like 18. I've seen the highest in the polls that people are voting Green. And it's utterly insane. I think it's a lot, hate to say it, but A lot of young women are being lured in by this, and it's not the vibe, guys. I don't think this is in young women's interests to have mass illegal migration and just, like Zack believes, this is unlimited asylum. So let's see.
Are you the British Mandani?
Well, he's much cooler than I am, and I think it's important to know where your coolness lies.
Well, at least he's realistic about that, right? So this was a video he put together about some of the things he believes in.
As you probably know, many things are a bit crap right now. Unaffordable housing, failing public transport, high food prices. The rich hold all the power. Underfunded NHS. But here's the thing, it doesn't have to be this way. We can have affordable...
Really? It doesn't have to be this way? Tell me how.
Green housing, well-paid jobs, better public transport, better health and social care, and a more equal society.
I love that with the leftists. It's just, oh, well, things are bad because of decades of Tory failure or whatever, or far-right policies. And it's like, but we can have free buses. We can have free school meals. We can have free housing. We can have free healthcare. It's just like free, free, free. It's so delusional. And of course, if you create this cutesy Monopoly video, there's going to be all these people going, oh my God, why haven't we thought of this before? This is what we want. Not some greedy politicians. Granted, they are greedy, but this is not the answer at the same time.
All whilst tackling the climate crisis. How?
Of course, yeah, they just have to add that. You know, the Greens have kind of stopped talking about the environment. They're far more into Islam, illegal migration, and Gaza than anything else, really. And animal welfare, like, they never talk about that. Never.
By taxing millionaires and billionaires and making corporations pay a fair share of tax. By fully nationalising industries like water and rail. By building renewable energy, not oil and gas. Want to know more?
It just sounds so perfect. I mean, it's just like, we can have everything we want, boundless. And what's the answer? Taxing billionaires and multimillionaires. That's what they always say. It's just like, it's not the fault of the migrants. It's the fault of the multimillionaires and the billionaires. That's just the answer for every single thing. It's analogous to how someone on the genuine far right just thinks every single issue we have is because of immigration or people who aren't white or something stupid like that. It's just like that. It's like, oh no, none of those problems exist. The answer is just tax billionaires. And they hate success. They hate it.
Check out the Green Party.
Check it out.
Can a woman have a penis?
Yes. It's going to take them a long time on the National Health Service to get rid of it, but that's another separate problem.
All right. I think we'll leave it on a woman.
Guys, this guy wants to be the Prime Minister. I mean, it's just, at this point, you could put together a blockbuster length movie of all of these clips of politicians, of lawyers, just being asked the same question over and over again. Can men get pregnant? Can a woman have a penis? And then just going, At least he actually says yes. And he even goes a step further, saying it's going to take a long time on the National Health Service for them to be able to get rid of it. Okay, first of all, you're just flippantly advocating for genital mutilation. That's exactly what you're doing for a lot of people who are mentally unwell. Second of all, you're advocating for that to be paid through my taxes, which I don't agree with, and most people do not agree with. If people want to save up and get those crazy surgeries and there's a private clinic willing to do it, then not my business. But I do not think that the NHS and our tax system should be funding medical transition. That's kind of where I'm at now. Oh, Zack.
Can have a penis.
I think you're lacking nuance and complexity about a pretty complicated
Not really. You couldn't have been clearer.
I'm clear, because actually when you want to look at the science...
You were crystal clear. Ask a simple question.
But you're
follow the science.
Laughing at it, which I think demeans
think it's
trans people.
Absolutely ridiculous.
What have you got against trans people? Why are you punching down? Why are you not saying
nothing against
the real
trans
problem
people?
in this
I've already
country?
told you that I think trans people...
You sound like you have a huge...
That's like you ask me a question and it's targeting an individual. I mean, how fragile do trans people have to be to not be able to answer, do women have penises? You know, it's like, if you believe a trans woman is a woman, which these guys say, the Green Party say that some trans women still have their penises. So ergo, women can have penises. If that's what you believe, just say it and just stick to it. All right?
Huge problem with trans people.
No. It sounds to me like you don't understand what a woman is, which I think is a huge problem for someone leading a party in this country.
A woman is a gender.
Sorry?
You said what's a woman?
No,
a woman is a
is
gender.
A biological
and gender
female.
is complicated.
No.
And what's a gender? What's a woman? Woman is a gender. Okay, what's a gender? Gender is complicated. Okay, well, you're the one who seems to know about it, so will you enlighten me? That's the thing. It's like even gender doesn't have, let alone gender identity, even gender doesn't really have a definition, does it? I mean, it's like the kind of characteristics attributed to the roles men and women kind of play in society, or it's how we classify like toys and clothing as male or female. Like, that's kind of it, right? But it's all just based on stereotypes.
Gender is a spectrum.
It's not complicated. A woman is a biological
spectrum. Is it that binary?
Do you think people are born male and female?
Not necessarily.
Oh, for God's sake.
I think.
Oh, yeah. And then the intersex argument. It's like, oh, well, some people are born intersex. Well, those trans women with dicks were not. So it's irrelevant, right?
It's more complicated than
It's
that.
not more complicated, Zach.
Well, it's not more complicated than that if you're a TV show host who wants to make it binary and ridiculous.
Zach, you're going to have to work
if you want to have a nuanced conversation that actually reflects science,
you know, when I asked you if you wanted to be
it's the opposite of science. Like, you claim to be the Green Party who's like pro, you know, climate change and like following the science, even though people debate that now.
Asked you if you want to be Prime Minister. There is not a cat in hell's chance of you ever becoming Prime Minister if you don't know what a woman is.
You know, I went to Handsworth.
Okay, so this next video was one he made on his ex, and he seemed very proud of it. So let's see if he wins a few of us over.
In Birmingham the other day, it was absolutely appalling. It's as close as I've come to a slum in this country.
Add lots of Norman French to some Angles, Saxon, Jutes and Vikings, then stir vigorously.
Like, they're unfortunate teeth. You have to admit. I'm trying to like
make some hot
it.
Chileans, cool Jamaican.
Yeah. Poor Zach. Do you ever wonder why? Like, I don't know his circumstances, but sometimes I see famous people or like big politicians who clearly have a lot of money, and they have terrible teeth. And I'm like, if you have that much money, sort your teeth out. It's very easy, and it's not vain. It's not if a man gets nice teeth, he's not going to be called a woman. I just think if you are rich and you are not sorting your teeth out, then I question whether you should be rich or not. I'll just leave it there.
Dominicans, Trinidadians and Bajans, with some Ethiopians, Chinese, Vietnamese and Sudanese. Then take a blend of Somalians, Sri Lankans, Nigerians and Pakistanis. And turn
take a blend of Pakistanis and Somalis and a pinch of Afghanis. What the hell are you making here? I don't want to eat it, whatever it is. It sounds like a recipe for a fight. But honestly, I mean, I don't have a problem with like different nationalities in general, per se. I think that not every nationality, not every culture can mix well together. That's what I think. And it's pretty common sense. But why is the UK and some of these Western countries, why are we the only ones having this done to us? It's like, where are the politicians in Afghanistan and Sudan being like, add a touch of gay Irishmen and add a sprinkle of trans German people and a little dollop of disabled Croatians? It's like, no other countries that are not white are doing this and kind of force feeding them, literally force feeding, because this is like a recipe, right? It's some smorgasbord of just migrants. I don't get it.
Turn up the heat. Sprinkle some fresh Indians, Malaysians, Bosnians, Iraqis and Bangladeshis, together with some Palestinians. Then add...
Of course, the Gazans as well. Like, he's just like, every single person in the world needs to be here. I mean, that's just, whether, you know, you're pro-immigration or not, this is an extreme position, I think. It's like, at least he started it by saying, like, start with the Angles and the Saxons, and then you just have to layer everything else on top. I mean, this video, it sounds kind of seductive, and it's like recipe add, what did he say? He was like rich Indians, or let me just rewind that because it was funny.
Vietnamese and Sudanese. Then take a blend of Somalians, Sri Lankans, Nigerians and Pakistanis. And
a blend. Just a blend of all.
Turn up the heat. Sprinkle some fresh Indians.
That one, that was it. Sprinkle some fresh Indians. Do you have a long life version? Do you have a dried version I can keep in my cupboard for 2 years instead? I don't use fresh Indians that often. I just like it sometimes. I bet there was like some random person with a weird fetish getting off on this video.
Standing in respect for the future, serve with justice, and enjoy.
What is it? The British, a poem by Benjamin Zephaniah. Sounds like a British guy. Love how it's like the British, and you're like, Palestinians are British. It's just like the whole world. What the hell is British then? Isn't it odd how they hate Britain, and they hate Britain's past and Britain's history, and they hate kind of protecting what is called British culture, but then they want everyone to be British. How does that work? Why do you want everyone to be something you hate? I mean, if I hated my country this much, I'd be telling immigrants, don't come here. It's really shit. Which I might say to people now anyway, because Jesus Christ. Okay.
A Green councillor in Kent told us earlier this year that he wants to legalise all drugs.
What we need to be doing is legalising and regulating drugs.
Really? All drugs?
Yes.
Cocaine, crack cocaine, heroin?
Yes.
Do you agree with that?
I do agree. I think it's the war on drugs has absolutely failed. And ultimately, we need to be having a public health approach to drug
So even
reform.
things like heroin, crack cocaine, you think should be legal?
Well, I think even when they're illegal, what happens is people go into the black market and they're in dangerous places. Now, I think if people have problematic relationships with drugs, and these are really serious drugs, then that is something that actually the NHS, and we should have a public health approach.
Voters will have to pay for that, won't they?
The whole
burn. 100% voters will have to pay for that. I mean, this is one of those things that I'm actually open to the discussion about the legality of some drugs. Let me just caveat that. I don't think it's ever a good idea to legalize heroin, crack, meth, cocaine, like a lot of those crazy drugs. But I do wonder sometimes if some of this is just me kind of thinking out loud, but I feel like some of the drugs people take at festivals, like MDMA, like those party drugs, I feel like that's kind of a conversation, because you could effectively sell those at a festival in an extremely controlled environment, and only at those kind of events. Do you know what I mean? So that at least, because people know when you go to a festival, everyone's bringing drugs in. So I think if that was the case, I could kind of understand the argument for that. It might be safer. But what I don't appreciate about this is that he's not coming at this with any kind of like the statistics show that if we were to decriminalize heroin and fentanyl and crack cocaine and crystal meth, then these are the outcomes, right? It's just purely ideological. He's like, I don't like how criminals are demonized. I don't like how people who break the law are demonized, because it's never their fault. It's the fault of the multi-billionaires and the billionaires, and we need to remove the stigma. I don't hear, it's not a solid argument. And from what I know, with San Francisco and California, LA, and other places who've become more lax on drugs, the outcomes have been devastating, with people just walking down the street. They're being like dead people, comatose people. And I went to LA in 2018, and I didn't even know this. And I was walking in downtown LA, and I was just like, this is crazy. It was like a video game, and the aim was dodge the high homeless person, and it was very sad to see. So I just think it's just a smorgasbord of his ideas, right? He's like, oh well, I'm super progressive, so this goes with that. Let's decriminalize all drugs, and I don't have any facts to back up my reasons for why. And on top of that, let's make the taxpayer pay for all of it.
Frame of the migration crisis is a racist, fascist frame. The answer is not to blame the migrants. The answer is not to point at the small boats. The answer is to point at the private jets, the private yachts, and to multimillionaires and billionaires and say, we will fund our public services, we will build council houses, we will invest in our NHS. I think we should want a country that people want to live here. The legitimate question is are you going to pay money in tax? Are you going to work hard? Are you going to contribute to this country? And the answer, extraordinarily so, when you look at data, is migrants are so much more likely to put money into our taxation system than they ever are to take out in social security and welfare. And just a final thing is we have an aging population. We have masses of vacancies in the NHS. Sure, we need to train British people or people who are born in Britain for those jobs. But also, what is wrong with a migrant running our public services or contributing to this country?
Those 50,000.
Yeah, that's really not the point. Okay, there's so much in there that I just completely disagree with. So, number one, when someone makes the argument that we just cannot, like, even if you're pro-immigration, and, you know, I think immigration has a place, but even if you're pro-immigration, we cannot just have 1.5 million people coming into the country each year and having a net migration above 500,000-600,000, because we simply do not have the homes, we don't have the hospital beds, we don't have the jobs in certain, like the schools. And that's just a simple game of maths. And he's like, that is not migrants' fault. It's the millionaires and it's the billionaires and the multimillionaires. And it's, you know, even if we massively grew our economy and hired loads of people and expanded our health service and got building, we still would not be able to we wouldn't be able to build enough homes to keep up with this. It's just, I mean, we're not demonizing human beings by just saying it's just not, it's at a pace that's not feasible. I mean, this is the analogy I use, right? Let's imagine you're going to your friend's party. No, let's imagine you're having a party, okay? And you tell your friend, okay, I'm having 20 people over. I have space for 2 more. Do you want to ask 2 of your friends? And your friend says, yeah, great. And then your friend arrives with 15 friends. And they all pour into your flat or house. And then you have to say, I'm sorry, guys, I don't have enough food for all of you. I don't have enough space for all of you. You're worried about your house being trashed. You're worried about people stealing your drinks. You're worried about all these people that you don't know. Now, would you blame the people or would you blame your friend? You would blame your friend for being a shitty friend and doing something that you cannot handle and that's unfeasible. That's exactly what we do. We blame the government. It's the policy. We're not talking about just individual healthcare workers or whatever. It's so tiresome. And what he said about trust the data and, you know, they take out, they contribute more than they pay in, that's untrue. It's an extremely small percentage of people who are net contributors because you have to earn, it's like, definitely above 40K. It's like 40, 50K or something before you're a net tax contributor. And a lot of the people coming here are doing low skilled, low wage jobs. So and a lot of them have children. So they might have like 3 kids and a wife, and the wife's not working. And the 3 kids use our schools. They all use our health service. They all use our council services. And some of them end up getting benefits. So it's just not the truth. You know, the amount of dependents we're bringing. So he's just a liar. I'm not being some anti-migrant person. I'm just talking about what's true and what's not. And he's just blatantly lying through his gappy ass teeth.
Some people that have come over in small boats over the last year, provided that they went through a safe and legal route you're happy with, or if they're economic migrants, were happy to pay tax, you're more than happy with those 50,000 coming to the UK and becoming a citizen here.
With the caveats you gave, I think anyone would be foolish to give any other answer than welcome to this country.
Zack Polanski has just tweeted out, and I promise you this.
Okay, let's look at this next one.
Is a real tweet. Quote, we don't need to call Farage names. Oh, really?
Fascism. But you actually are a fascist. You're from a far-right party. These are literally a Nazi party.
So not only is Zack Polanski a lunatic, he is also either a pathological liar or suffering from some sort of catastrophic amnesia. I'll let you decide which.
Does someone with a penis have a right?
Back to the penis, guys. You never get enough of that. Good for the gays, right? But I quite like Zia Yusuf, to be honest. He gets a lot of hate online, but I like him. And I do support reform. They are imperfect. I have a lot of criticisms. And some people on my channel don't like that I support reform, but that is where I'm currently at. And they produce some funny stuff. And that was definitely one of them. I mean, a lot of you probably know this guy as well. He's known for in the past having given therapy to women, telling them that he'd be able to enlarge their breast through hypnotherapy. Yeah. And he's also someone who used to be part of Extinction Rebellion, and he's been arrested for protesting, you know, those climate change freaks. So, I mean, he's just like a complete chancer, in my opinion. And who knows, can you imagine if we had like Nigel Farage versus him as our government? That would be interesting to watch.
Right of entry to a woman's refuge.
Does someone with a penis have a right to entry to a woman's refuge?
However they identify.
The answer is no, Zach. No.
Yes, if they identify as a trans person, they've been a trans person for a long time, everyone's comfortable with it, and
You know as well as I do that most women in that situation, because they're there because of violence towards them, they would not feel comfortable with a biological man, however they show themselves, however they identify themselves, with a penis being in that refuge. You seriously think...
Well, the return of that argument is, should we
No,
have...
I don't want the return of the argument.
No, but then you're going to put a man who has now become a trans woman in a refuge.
He just acknowledged that it's a man. He said, then you're putting a man who's a trans woman in the... Okay, you just said it's a man. Everyone knows that he's a man. Everyone knows. It's like that bathroom video that went viral that I posted. If you guys haven't seen it, go to my Instagram. But, you know, everyone knows that those men in the video are men. And he knows this. And it's always put on, but what about the poor man? Where are we going to put him? Well, we need to have accommodations for that, clearly. This annoys me so much because when you talk about, for example, prisons, and they say, but we can't put a trans woman in a male prison. I agree that there's probably a high probability of him being raped, you know, if he has like fake breasts and on estrogen, although most of them don't. But there's a chance of him being raped, abused, manipulated. That's true. But nobody talks about giving gay men special privileges in prison. And gay men are at a very high risk in prison for rape, for intimidation. I mean, if I went to prison, I'd be shit scared. I would not be able to, I just wouldn't be able to handle it. That gang mentality. So, and especially, I mean, prisons are now overrun with Islamists. So if you're gay, you're at a huge risk. But no one says that they should be anywhere else because they're just men. Why can't we say we need special accommodation for them? I mean, Stonewall could advocate for that. But back to Zach. So it's interesting how the Green Party has just become so anti-women with their pro-trans, pro-mass illegal migration, pro-Islam. All of it is just not in the favor of women whatsoever. And I hate these labels because they get away with so much for being progressive, for being kind, for being about equality. And they are anything but, in my opinion.
With women. So, you know, unless you're going to say, if you're trans, you have to have always a third space, or you can't quite be a man or can't be a woman, when you face sometimes
Well, I think that's what most people do think.
I don't think that is what most people think. I think most people think just let people get on with their lives. And in fact, when we see polling, people are a lot more concerned about protecting the NHS, lowering people's bills and putting food on the table. And I think the trans wars often become a culture war.
The Greens will never dance to the tune of a Trump.
It's just like, I mean, it would be more outrageous, right, if he was here in 2018. But to be honest, Zach, so many idiots have made all these arguments already. I mean, all of his policies are just like basic ass socialism. It's just like white boy socialism. They're not even interesting. Let's see this question. Did you see the speech the Polish president made recently regarding EU free speech? I didn't actually. Some of the Polish government say quite funny things. I mean, what was one of them? I don't know if it's the Prime Minister or someone else, but they were being challenged on their refugee policy because they were refusing to take any. And if you're part of the EU, you're legally obliged to. And he was just like, we do not want Muslims in this country. That was it. Well, at least he's honest. If you want to send me a link to that speech, you can do it in the chat, in the comments, or you can DM me because I'd be interested to see that. Okay.
loving, tax avoiding, science denying, NHS dismantling, corporate stooge. We'll say it loud, we'll say it clear. Migrants and refugees are welcome here.
He's just so cringe. I can't go over it. I almost wish he was like Zoran Mandani, but I'm just glad that he's not, because if he was, more useful idiots would be compelled by him. But at least he's gross, I have to say. And you know, if it's not for the love of having nice teeth, at least if you're going to be a politician, you need to be able to pronounce your S's. I'm sorry. I'm in a mean mood, but honestly, like, is this who you want leading the country?
Countries are ready to pull out of Eurovision if Israel participates. The UK should be one of them. Eurovision is about peace, love, and shared humanity. A country that is committing a genocide cannot share those values, and we should exclude them in the same way that we do with Russia during the World Cup. Since October 2023, over 64,000 Palestinians have been killed and 160,000 people injured. Meanwhile, Gaza has been absolutely reduced to rubble. History is judging. We mustn't be silent. From the UN to yes, Eurovision, we must take a stand. This is...
Yeah, I'm just so sick of like the whole. I'm not going to comment on the Palestinian thing. It's just the amount of politicians we have that only focus on international issues and like women having penises is laughable. It's just, I mean, the only thing he understands about this country, in his view, is that we need to tax billionaires, and that's pretty much it. And then it's like Gaza, the Eurovision. I mean, I just find it so unhelpful that these people think that by banning Israel from the Eurovision, that's going to somehow make a difference. And Netanyahu is going to be like, I'm going to stop this, what you call genocide. That's not going to make a difference, clearly. I mean, I watch a lot of tennis, and the Russian and the Belarusian players are no longer allowed to have their flag next to their name. And I just think that's kind of stupid, to be honest, because let's face it, a lot of those players have lived abroad most of their life because they've been training professionally as a tennis player. They've gone to like LA or Florida or one of those places. And everyone knows they're Russian or they're Belarusian. It's like taking away the flag doesn't mean we don't know. So I just think that's really stupid. And I don't think we should ban Israel from the Eurovision because obviously, well, first of all, why is Israel even in the Eurovision? Because they're not part of Europe. This is the whole thing. I mean, I think that's kind of stupid to be honest. Like Australia is in the Eurovision. Russia used to be the Eurovision. I think the Israel-Palestine thing, it's a lot more complicated than Russia just invading Ukraine kind of unprovoked. But anyway, I just think it's stupid. It's just what like middle-class people do when they want to try and make a difference. They're like, boycott McDonald's, boycott Starbucks. Everyone, don't buy tickets to this nightclub because they're Zionists. It's like you're making no difference. It's the same as all these hunger strikers in the UK. It's like, what are you doing? Eat. You're literally, you're just looking like a complete idiot. Like you're making no difference. The people in Israel think you're crazy. The people in Israel are not going to respond to this. You're cringe, you're crisp, and you're cute.
Free
So I get
Palestine.
a few more of these.
As we speak, the Global Summit Flotilla is sailing to Gaza. These are boats carrying brave healthcare workers, journalists, aid workers, and activists trying to take vital aid into Gaza. But in the last 24 hours, we've heard reports that the vessels have been attacked. Those on board have reported...
So he was essentially all over Greta Thunberg's flotilla thing, which again, it's like, this was just a group of mildly autistic teenagers and young activists who don't have jobs getting on a boat trying to get into Gaza. And you had all these politicians saying, oh my God, the flotilla, it's approaching. It's like, we don't care about this at all. We care about issues. We care about people being killed here in our country, being raped, of our crime, of people not getting a hospital bed. We don't care about Greta Thunberg on a raft. And I'm sorry, that's just the truth.
Explosions, unidentified objects being dropped near the boats, communications being jammed. But there is absolutely no evidence that the people who are sexually assaulting people are people seeking asylum. And
I'm sorry, there is. There's convictions. There is convictions. We only prosecute 1% of illegal entry into this country. How can we be a democratic, sovereign country when we have decriminalized illegal entry into our country?
100%. I talked about her last week. She's great.
Ambitious sort of chap, isn't he, really, with some of the things he's trying to do? I mean, clearly a lunatic. But, you know, there's a market out there for heroin. There's a market out there for open borders. If this is what turns you on, then the Greens are clearly for you.
In a world that...
You know, I get why people don't want... I get why some people just don't want to vote reform. I do get it. But I also don't get why so many people hate Farage so much, because he is genuinely very funny. I know that's not all that matters, but I think comparing him to Trump is just not accurate whatsoever. I think Trump says crazy offensive stuff and random things from the hip that have no basis in fact. And I just don't think Nigel Farage does that. I mean, I find him very funny personally, and I do see through some of his like cunning Cheshire catness, and I think he's egotistical, and I have lots of concerns about it all. But I honestly think he's very funny.
Has Vladimir Putin in it?
Well, I want to see everyone denuclearize, including Vladimir Putin. But ultimately, the only way you can do that is by showing...
But I have to say that would be in the realms of the miracle.
Well, you're laughing at it, but I think it's important that we don't laugh at peace. I think it's really important.
No, I'm laughing at the idea that Vladimir Putin is going to give up his nuclear weapons because somebody asks him to.
Well, you could have laughed at the point of Nelson Mandela negotiating with the ANC, or we could have laughed at the Irish during the Troubles.
You're not sincerely making the comparison. Come on.
I am making the comparison. I think it's always impossible until it's done, and I think it's really important. I don't think it's likely. That's a different question. But I think the first question has to be, do you believe that we can work for peace and diplomacy in the world? Do we believe that we can work with people that we have mass disagreement with, that are they're obviously creating an illegal...
Okay, so essentially he thinks that he can get Russia to ditch their nuclear weapon because he's going to be nice to them. He's going to ask nicely, right? I was just trying to find a video because there's this like trend going around on TikTok. I was really hoping I could find it. There's a trend going around on TikTok where people are doing reactions to Zack Polanski. I'm not going to be able to get it on that browser. Is the problem. Oh, hey, I'm back. Yeah, there's just this like meme going around on TikTok where all the youngins are doing the same kind of reaction to Zack Polanski and the thing about the penis, and they're loving it, basically. So I wanted to try and find that, but no, I'm not going to be able to right now. Maybe we can look at it again sometime. So I think I just had a question here. So yeah, I thank you for asking. I put a screenshot on Instagram. So I interviewed a guy called Brandon yesterday. He has an Instagram. He's a very fabulous gay man and aligned with me on a lot of issues. He's from America, and he challenges a lot of assumptions based off how he presents and everything, because people don't like the fact that if he said he was a trans woman, a lot of the left would just like it. So I have loads of content of that coming out for you, because we did a full interview. We did a reaction to some stuff. So very much looking forward to that. And it's going to come out as soon as possible. I think probably one of them will be tomorrow at some stage. Hopefully I'll get that. Well, everyone, I've gone on longer than I meant to for the YouTube section, but thank you everyone for watching. If you want to catch up, I'll be posting these videos separately later. Please leave a comment and let me know what you thought. And if you get value from these streams and you want to see me talk about more crazy stuff, you can come back next week. I post other videos regularly to my channel, and you can subscribe. I'd really appreciate that. So that's all for the YouTube and the X stream. I appreciate all of you and all of your kind comments. Hope you enjoyed, and I will see you next week at the same time. It's a date.